think we're ready to go, guys. Yeah, let's see here. Okay. Well, so we're going to go through the new Age of Ascension KeyForge set, and I really was trying to get an idea of like what are the best cards from this new set, since we're just going to be opening new decks, and we're like all we have is just names, and we don't really know what is going to be like the best, like what's going to be the name that we see that we want to see in our deck, because not every card is reprinted, but there are going to be some reprints in the set. But we have Bait and Switch not reprinted, we have Library Access not reprinted, Gateway to Diz not reprinted. So these are some cards that we thought were staples in the meta of KeyForge in the first set. Well, what we have now is a whole new batch of new cards. I think roughly about 200 new cards. So what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna do some of the hard work for you. I've already went through the list here. I'm just gonna scroll down. There's quite a bit of cards here. They're sorted by house. I gotta load them up. But anyways, I'm gonna go through them sorted by house. I went through this the other day. I wanted to, now these stand out to me. Now these are the kind of cards that I like. I will go off the names and then we will take a look at the cards. I'm not going to go through everything. I just searched Google. On Google I searched KeyForge Age of Ascension set. And so then right there I looked and I just went through here, so you can look at this as well. Okay. So these are not in any order, like I said, but I went through the whole set, and these are the ones that stood out to me that I thought were really good. I'm not going to go over any of the existing cards. If they're an old card from a previous set, we're not going to go about that because we already know about those cards. Because you should already have an opinion on if an old card is what you want or is what you not, if you don't want it. But for a new card, you just see a name and you don't really know what it is. So what we're going to do is take a look at that right now. So the first card on my list, I have the Flex. So let's keep on going. Let's go down here a little bit. Let's see, why did I put the Flex on here? So you can see, now this is from this new set. You can see some of these, there's a lot of cards that are reprinted. Like Burn the Stockpile is going to be good. Still in the set here. Screech Bomb. Flex, okay. Choose a ready friendly Brobnar creature, exhaust it, and gain amber equal to half its power. Okay, so the reason why I like this card is it's a good way to get money. Brobnar has really big creatures or monsters, whatever you want to call them. So then basically, yeah, they're creatures. So, you know, if you have like a 6 or higher, you basically reap with them, but you exhaust them, but so reaping with a 6 would get you 1, but Flex basically turns that 6 into 3. That's not bad. And now if we start to think about Bait and Switch, could, like, you didn't even really want to use it unless you got 3 or 4. So that's pretty good. Now Bait and Switch is maximum of 2. So you got to think about that. Potential with Flex with these kind of big creatures, it's going to net you about 3 amber for basically the price of reaping with one of your creatures. Not bad. Obviously, the smaller, the weaker they are, not going to get the best return. But I saw that was a new card saying Flex. Oh, that's a decent, how big are my minions? If I have big minions, Flex could get me some money. And it's nice. Grumpus Tamer. Let's see here. Here we go. It's a 4 power. Reap. So you reap, you're going to get 1 amber. Search your deck and discard pile for a War Grumpus. Reveal it and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So basically you're going to be able to get one of these War Grumpuses. I put it on the list, but I didn't put it on the list because this is going to be a card that they probably come tandem, because this is a rare and because some things like happen. So you'll probably get this with a number of these other ones, but you're going to get a reap and you're going to get a creature out of it. and you can get them out of your discard pile or your normal deck. That's not bad. Now, as you're saying, well, what are we going to get for it? Well, let's take a look here. This is what it is right here. It's a 3 power. When you fight or reap, ready and fight with a neighboring giant. Okay, so you're gonna fight with this war Grumpus. Basically, what's gonna happen is it's gonna fight, do damage, and then if it survives, then you can ready and fight with a neighboring. So you'll fight with a neighboring giant. Then you do this, boom, he'll get to go again. If you don't want him to die and you just want the power for reap, reap with him, get him money, and then now you get to let someone else go. I think that's a pretty good combo. Like, at least it's something to think about. Like, oh, maybe that's something different. It's new, something to think about. I kind of like that combo. Might makes right. Okay, so it's this card right here. Okay, play. You may sacrifice any number of creatures with a total power of 25 or more if you do forge a key at no cost. So the reason why I added this is it gives you an ability, or gives you like the ability to forge a key in the middle of your turn, which is amazing, and it doesn't cost you anything, and you get 1 money from this card already. So you just play in this card, you can get 1 money, or you can get 1 money and sacrifice 25 power or more and forge a key. Yes, there is a cost by sacrificing these creatures, but like some of these creatures are really big. Like 25, maybe like 4 or 5 creatures, to be honest, and maybe some are damaged. You never know. This could win you the game. Let's just say that. This could win you the game. If you got a pretty big board and you need to make your last key, you play this, sacrifice your whole board and make a key. You win the game. So think about it. Like, so there's something to think about here with this might makes right. It's a way to win the game when your opponent has no idea. So that's, don't want to be don't underestimate that card. You will see people win games with that card. Because it just will do that. You'll build a board. Brobnar does that, and it doesn't say you have to sacrifice. Yeah. Now I'm gonna say this because I do not know for sure. It says you may sacrifice any number of creatures with a total power of 25 or more. I'm gonna assume that it's not. You could sacrifice your opponents. I'm sure that has to be friendly, because if that's the other way, that would actually be broken. So that doesn't. So that would be. But still, like I said, you could just build a board, get 25, boom, play that card. It's probably a game winner, not something you're going to want to do to forge your first or second key in a pinch. But to make your 3rd key, fantastic. Because you can here's another thing. You can literally play a bunch of Brobnar creatures, right? Listen, play a bunch of Brobnar creatures. They don't have to be ready. And then you play this card, and then you just kill them all, and you make a key. So, and then if you have like, it's not in this deck, and I don't think they reprinted it, but it is the Arise, right? If you were to be Arise, next turn, Arise with your Brobnar, get them all back, or whatever. Just think about it. There's some stuff there. I think this card could be underestimated. Rock Hurling Giant. Let's take a look here. I saw that, right? It's right here. So 6 power. You're already on your way. During your turn, each time you discard a Brobnar card from your hand, you may deal 4 damage to a creature. So you literally just discard a Brobnar card and do 4. He can also swing for 6. So that's. I'm not going to go too much into that, but you could see where that can be kind of good. Shard of Strength. Okay, this was the first one on there. Any of the shards are something to think about. None of them are really, really powerful, but this one's actually not bad because it's an artifact. You give it an action, and a friendly creature gets plus 1 power for each friendly shard you have. Probably you're gonna, and you could get a deck that probably has multiple of these in them, and you could get multiple. Every house has their own shard, so best case scenario, you get multiple of these. Maybe not necessarily the Shard of Strength, but shards of all different kinds. So it's something to think about, but yeah, it's kind of cool. All right, so that kind of rounds out the top of new cards for Brobnar. Those are the ones that kind of stood out to me. Tell me what you guys think. Is that something, am I on point here, or no, I'm missing something here? Like these ones like stood out to me, but yeah, so let's continue on here. Ember Imp. Now this one's really interesting because it's elusive, and after a creature reaps, stun it. You will see that a lot in this set. There's going to be a lot of ways to stun your opponent or even yourself. There's a lot of when someone reaps, stun it. That's going to be really big in this set and very annoying. And some cards also hurt yourself. And actually a lot of them are like reap and stun. And they affect everybody on the board. So something to think about. This guy, he affects you too. So you have him out, you're going to want to fight. You're going to want to fight because if you reap, you're going to be stunned. So this is going to be, it's going to be hindering. It's going to be very hindering, but pretty good, especially with the elusive. It's going to be kind of annoying. It's going to take him 2 hits, like 2 swings at him to kill him. He's not hard to kill with 2 power, so, but something to think about. Binding Irons. I scoured the whole set, and this was the only card that I found that legitimately you play it and you just give your opponent chains. Did you give your opponent 3 chains? And it's a common. That's going to be something that's going to be very, very bad. Binding Irons. You're going to want that more than the Ember Imp. Binding Irons. Give your opponent 3 chains. There's none. I don't need to say much more about that, but that's fantastic. Exhume. This is going to be also another card that you're going to be dying. You open up your deck. You're going to be like, do I have Exhume in my deck? As well as Binding Irons. Exhume. Choose a creature in your discard pile. You may play that creature as if it belongs to the active house and was in your hand. And it gives you 1 Ember. So the way that I read this, you play this card and you can bring back any minion from your discard pile and play him on the board. It doesn't matter if he's on Diz, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. You're playing the Diz card. So there's another, there's more down here too, but like the Phase Shift. There's a new card. I can't remember the name, but I do have it. There's a new card here. But you play something like that with this. You get this combo of like, how the heck did you bring this creature back from the grave? That's so cool. So this card is fantastic. Exhumed. You're going to want that. That's like a rise, but like an automatic arise like right now. But instead of bringing your whole army back, you can just bring any creature and put them right back on the board. That is, I love it. And you get 1 money at the same time. So it's fantastic. Fantastic. Cull the Weak. I don't have it on this. Actually, I do have it on this list. I do. Destroy the least powerful enemy creature. You get 1 money and destroy the least powerful. It's not something like amazing, but you get 1 money and you can pop one of their creatures off the board, and if they have a bunch of big guys, well, you're taking something off the board for 1 card. So you're getting like 2 things. You're getting a money, and you're getting popping somebody off their board. So that's good. That's good. It's good. Okay, the next card I have is Unlocked Gateway. Omega. After you play this card, end this step. So basically, this is the last card you're going to play on your turn. But when you play it, destroy each creature. So it's like a gateway to Diz, but gateway allows you to play it and continue your turn. This basically, once you play this, your turn ends, but it destroys everything on the board. So do what you're going to do, and then destroy the whole board. It's still good. It's still good. You're gonna want it. You're gonna want to look. You're gonna want this in your deck because if things are going bad, I actually kind of like this better for the game than Gateway to Diz because you could literally start your turn with Gateway to Diz, clear the board, and then you can start laying down stuff. And that's great for you, but for your opponent, it's very tough to come back from. Oh, they cleared your whole board. They cleared their guys, yeah, but then they have cards in their hand they're playing down. So this one's a more fair gateway to Diz, let's just say. So, you know, I like it though because I'd still play it. If I had either one, I'd still play it. You're just going to play differently. You're just going to play differently. You're not going to be able to do everything, or, you know, start the turn off with clearing the board and then going. You'll have to basically do everything and then say, I really don't like your board, bye. You know, but it's still good. It's still really good. Let's see what I have here. There's just some cool cards. The bronze key amp, the gold key amp. Basically allows you, they're elusive and players can't forge those particular keys. Like, can't forge your first key, can't forge your third key. And there's one that says can't forge your second key. So those can be annoying, but they are elusive. But they're only 2 power, so they're not like just not the craziest. Let's see. Anguish, for each damage your opponent costs keys +1. That's pretty nice. It is 6, so he takes some damage. He can make your opponent's keys go pretty bad. God, that's not one that I was like, oh, you really need to have it on here, but that was cool. I've got Tesmal. Where are we at here? Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, this is one I did have on the list here. Or Tenu? Okay, I'm terrible with kind of names like this. But this one's pretty good here. Reap. Return each copy of the bind-in, which is the card next to it, from your discard pile to your hand. For each one returned this way, deal 2 damage to a creature with 2 splash. Now you're looking at it, well, what's that card? It's a 1 money, you play it, and you deal 2 damage to a friendly creature. So you're really probably not going to want to play this, because you think about this. If you're playing Diz, you can just throw these cards away. You can just throw these cards away on your turn, not get the money, but then when you have Homeboy out here, he's going to reap and bring these back. And then every time you bring one of those cards back, you're basically going to be doing 4 damage. Now, he's not going to be swinging for 7. However, he's not going to have any damage on him. Now, if you really want the money, you can throw it in your discard pile, get the money, but take 2 damage. So there's this give and take here. I actually see that you're going to just want to throw these cards away, put them in your discard pile, and kind of forgo the 1 amber. I don't know if it's worth taking the damage from it. But in a certain situation, you could probably take, if you want to kill one of your characters or creatures, you could do it that way too, and give them 2 damage and take the money. So I mean, there's some things there. You might not in all scenarios. I'm sure those two, they look like they would come together, and you just may get more bind-ins than others. Let's see, there was another guy here that I had. It's the Death. Eater of Death. Yes, when you fight or reap, purge a creature from a discard pile. So yours or your opponent's. If you do, put a 1 power counter on him. So every time you fight with him, you can purge a creature and give him a +1. You can reap with him and purge a creature. So you're purging someone from their discard pile, which can be very, very good. Most likely you're going to want to purge your opponent's creatures so they can't come back. And then when you do that, you're going to get more power. So maybe the first couple times you're going to probably purge, you're going to reap to get some money and pop some people out, and then he'll be powerful, and then you can fight with him. And then this guy is nuts. He's nuts. He's kind of slow builder. Probably going to want to reap a few times with him to get those powers up, pop some stuff out. And it doesn't have to be your opponent. So if you really want the power, you can purge your own minions or creatures if it seems worth it to you, and you don't really care that you purge something. So that's gonna be something right there. And I think there was one more, but I'm not Oh, it's this. Tismal. Elusive. Reap, choose a house. Your opponent cannot choose that house as their active house in the next turn. So this is basically like Control the Weak, but it's a minion. I can't minion creature. So a creature. So you're going to have a creature out here that's elusive, that can reap. So he's reaping, giving you money, and you can control the weak, basically. This is actually like this better. The only reason why it's not better is because you have to play him, and you can't just control. It's like you can't control the weak automatically, but if you keep him on the board and you keep him protected, some taunters out there, you could literally, and he's a common. He is a common, and he's elusive too, so he's not going to be easy to pop off the board. It's really good. It's really good. If you can keep him out on the board, just like the witch, right? The witch is fantastic, but she has to stay on the board. But if she can stay on the board, you're going to have a problem. If he can stay on the board, every time you do Diz, you can basically lock out your opponent. Choose a house. Your opponent cannot use that house as their active house on their turn. So I mean, it's actually a little bit different than Control the Weak. Control the Weak makes you use that house. This says you can't use that house, so that they get the two other options. But if their board is full of particular stuff, like you can kind of do some stuff. It's good. It's good. I like it. Okay, so that's our Diz. I think we covered them pretty well here. Usually control creatures and actions are going to stand out, and Diz is really known for that kind of stuff, so that's why there's a lot there. Logos here does have some good stuff here, but the list is not as long. Let's see, I have Helper Bot. It's a 1 power. You may play a non-logos card this turn. And the cool thing about this is it's kind of like an action card, because on play you could get this. So it's actually nuts. It's a creature that if it stays in the board, you can eventually reap with it later on, which is fantastic. Or if you want to attack with it, you can, because once it's on the board, it doesn't do anything else for you. But you put him on the board. He's a minion. He's a creature for 1 power. Not that great, but something out there. And you get a play action, which is basically an action card where you get to play a non-logos card on your turn. So it's just like Phase Shift. I like this. Actually, I like this better than Phase Shift, because you get a creature out of it, and it still does almost exact same. I think it basically does the same thing. Play one, not I don't see why not. Now there's things that, like, if your opponent says you cannot play creatures, well, this would prevent that. Or your opponent, you cannot play action cards. So there's the difference. So this is the creature version of that action card. I like this Helper Bot. Obviously not because of the power level on him, but the actual ability is really good, very combo-y, very, very good. This is just fantastic. Professor Sutterskin, right here. Pretty cool art, if I have to say myself. When you reap with him, you draw a card for each friendly logos creature. Doesn't say ready, it just says friendly logos creature. So flood the board. They don't have to be ready, just reap with him. You get a money and you draw a card for each friendly logos. This guy right here. That right there. If he can stay on the board, 1 turn, he's disgusting. He's gonna be something that your opponent does not want to see on the board, because if left unchecked, he's reaping, giving you money, and drawing who knows how many cards. Just unbelievable. It's just really, really good. Gargoyle. Let's see here where we at. Okay, right here. Gargoyle. Elusive. Put a card from your hand face down under him. When this creature is destroyed, play the card underneath him. Otherwise, archive it. So, but it has to be on your turn. So, what's going to happen is you're going to just get this guy killed, he's elusive, that means they attack him. They basically have to attack him twice to be able to do damage. So when you get a chance, you're going to attack with him. He's going to die. It has to be on your turn, and then you get to play the card below him. And it doesn't. The restrictions don't say anything about it has to be another logos card or anything like that. I don't think so. However, in most scenarios, for you to get him killed, you would probably have to pick logos, but not necessarily, because like you could do like a gateway or unlock. Well, you can't really unlock. Well, you could actually unlock gateway, because I think it would trigger that it would destroy everything. This guy would destroy, then you'd play the card underneath it, and then you'd end your turn. I don't really know that. I'm just going crazy there. But I'm not sure. I think you can play you can put any card underneath them, and then even if it's a different house, you'd still get to play. So I have not looked for clarification on that, but I would imagine so. Which is very nice, because you could literally set up some weird combination where he dies, and then you get this really cool card that you play by just random happenstance. Combo-y. Very cool. Let's see here. Where's the next card? Redact. This one I thought was pretty cool. Okay, so after you choose logos as your active house, place one from the common supply on redacted. And when there are 4 or more, sacrifice it and forge a key. So basically you have this artifact out, and for 4 turns, after you put it out. So it takes a while. It does take a while, but literally after 4 turns of playing this guy and you have logos, you will get to forge a key. So it takes a little bit of time. It does take a little bit of time, but once you get this card played, your opponent really, like within 4, well, after you turn it, okay, you play logos, you put it down, and then now after 4 more turns after that, you'll get to forge another key. And when it doesn't say anything about you can't have forged a key that turn, so you could literally forge a key. Also, you could get kind of 2 keys at the same time with this thing. It's good. It's very good. Yeah, it's a game changer here. Entangler here. Choose an active house. During your opponent's next turn, creatures of that chosen house cannot be used to reap. That's another really good control card here. So if they have a board full of stuff that looks like they've just been reaping all game, right? They've been reaping all game. They're just going to town, and you cannot really slow them down. This card, you pick the house that they have the most creatures. Boom, they are going to have to slow down a little bit. It gives you a little bit of time to catch up. And the cool thing about it is an artifact. It's an artifact. So you can do this every turn that you pick logos. It's pretty good. I like that a lot. And it is an uncommon as well. That's going to be nice. It's going to slow down your opponent a lot from reaping. Yeah, they can attack you, but they're in most scenarios, this game doesn't reward you the most for attacking. Yeah, you get some stuff for attacking, but ultimately you need to get amber, and by reaping is how you directly get amber. Now there's cards that can give you it, but it's cool. I like it. I wouldn't mind having it in my deck, and it's a cool new card. So I think that kind of ends our... No. There's one more card here that I thought was pretty good. Oh, by the way, you can still pull a time traveler in this set. So that's cool. More chances to pull that. Yeah, Project ZYX. 5 power, 1 armor. When you fight or reap, you may play one of your archive cards as if it were from your hand and in the active house. So you put stuff in. There's a lot of ways to get archives, but just saying, if you get stuff in the archives, and it can be in any kind of house, you fight and reap, You may play one of your archive cards from your archive. Just boom, right there. Very good combo. I'm excited just thinking about the stuff that you could do with that. I mean, you can, if you're able to archive. Oh, by the way, they reprinted KeyCharge. What? So KeyCharge is in the house. You get that. Just archive KeyCharge and then boom. If you have to Amber, but I love it. I love it. And it's a good. It can fight. It's got. You can reap. You can. There's some stuff there with it. There's some good stuff there. Okay, so that kind of concludes our look at new cards from Logos. Let's go into Mars. I have a couple of Mars cards here that I thought stood out to me. And let's see here. The Collector Worm is kind of funny. When he fights, archive the creature he fights. If that creature leaves the archives, put it in. So basically, he fights, and if he survives, he can archive those creatures. That can kind of be nuts. I don't hate that at all. He's got 5 armor too, so he's nuts. I don't think he's gonna be like, he's not on my list of like, oh, you have to have him, but it's fun. We're looking for a combat pheromones. I like the harvester here. Can it be used while it has non-Mars neighbors? But when you do, you reap and you get a +1. So it's interesting, not anything. Here we go, combat, here we go. It's an Omni artifact that gives you 1 when you play it. So here, when you sacrifice it, you may use up to 2 Mars cards this turn. So obviously you're not going to sacrifice this on your Mars turn, but if you have a couple Mars cards in your hand, that would be really good on any other house's turn. Combo city, when like anytime you can get combos in this game, and especially like just like a blanket combo of like, oh, he played this card with this card, that's just not fair, and you're like, yeah, but it's awesome. So that's really cool. You put that down there and you basically just like wait for the perfect time, and boom, now you get to play some 2 Mars cards on any other house's turn. I like it, and it gives you 1 money when you play it. It's fantastic. It's really good. Options are the best with this game. The more things that you have that at your disposal, the better. Destroy them all. It's a very simple card. It's an action. Destroy an artifact, a creature, and an upgrade. So just like before, you do everything that you can. So if there's an artifact, there's a creature, and there's an upgrade, they all have to go. If there's no upgrade, then you can do the first 2. If there's no artifact, no creature. So if there's any of those on the board, you do have to at least destroy them, even if it's your own. But I still like it, because you're not forced to play this card. I guess the worst way to play this card is if your board is stacked and your opponent is not stacked and you wild wormhole that card. That could be really bad. Also funny, but at the same time, I mean, every card at the same point sometimes can be bad if you wild wormhole it or play it at the wrong time. But if you play this at the right time, you could really destroy them all. If your opponent has 1 of each of those, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad for them. Let's see what else we have here. Hypno Beam. Gain control of an enemy creature. An action card. Very simple. Play this card. I get control of your enemy creature. It controls the board. You can steal something really good of theirs. Now that's not only they don't have it, now you have it, and you basically could just do whatever the heck you want with it. Now, from my understanding here, if it's not the house If it's not a house that you control, you really won't be able to do anything with it other than let it, I don't really know. I mean, depends on what it is. But like if you have Mars, and if you steal one of their Mars creatures, yeah, you can use it. And if it's one of the other houses that you have as well, you'd also be able to use it. But if it's not a house that you have, you won't be able to use it or reap with it or anything like that. But it could be like, oh, remember the bind-in card? Deal damage to a friendly creature. Okay, I'll kill him. I don't really care. You know, so there's some funny things there. Anytime you can take your opponent's stuff from them, they can't use it. You could probably use it. If not, there's a lot of things that you could probably do with it. So I like it. I think it's pretty cool. It's very simple too. It's annoying. Let me tell you, it's annoying. Let's see here. Extinction. Where are we at here? Passing up some good cards, but here we go. Choose a creature. Destroy that creature, and each creature that shares a trait with it gain 1 chain. So, you're going to gain 1 chain for at least killing 1 creature. However, you can kill a ton of creatures if they share the same trait. Now, a trait would be like, I believe this beast right here would be a trait. Yeah, it would be a treat. So that also would hurt, like a Martian scientist. So like if you have that as well, you could kill yourself with it. But obviously, in everything, picking the right thing to do is is important. But essentially, that can be really good. I definitely will pay 1 chain to be able to kill something and possibly kill multiple creatures for 1 chain. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm okay with that. I think that's solid. It is a rare though, so it's not going to be that prevalent. But those kind of things could almost kind of clear a whole board of a particular house, like human or witch or whatever. Okay, Martian Generosity. What did I have for him? Okay, so you get 1 money. Play. Lose all of your money. Draw 2 cards for each money you lost or amber you lost. So essentially, essentially right off the bat, it's draw 2 cards because you're going to get a money and you're going to draw 2 cards for that money that you lost. Now, if you have a bunch of money, if you have 4 money, you're drawing. If you have 4 money, you play it, you get a 5th money. You lose all your money and draw 10 cards. What? So, very just nutty card. You see that, you're gonna be like, yes, because automatically it's just a play, get 1 money, lose the money, draw 2 cards. So, you know, if you got like 1 money, you know, you got 1 money, you're like, I don't know what to do. Play this card, get 2 money. Lose all your 2 money, get 4 cards. Yes, I'd definitely do that. Why wouldn't I do that? Especially if your deck is like heavily chained up and you're really having a hard time like getting cards. That's one way to do that. Now, however, if you are heavily chained up and you have a lot of cards, you're not going to be able to get down your chains. However, you know, if you got all your cards, what do you know, you're going to be playing your cards. There's no restriction on how many cards you can play with chains. It's just how many cards you can get when you draw. I like that card a lot. I think there's some huge potential there. Automatically just draw 2 cards. I like that a lot. It just helps you cycle through your deck to get to better cards. It's fantastic. And you don't really lose anything. You do if you have a bunch of money, but you're rewarded by like more cards. And I think it's okay. Obviously not in every scenario. Like if you need to win the game, like right now, you're not going to play this card. Then don't play the card. But you can definitely do some stuff there. Definitely do some stuff here. I like that. Now, I don't have that many Sanctum cards here. Maybe they didn't jump out to me. And that could just be my inexperience with Sanctum. I've gotten a good amount of experience with Sanctum, but now I will say this. Sanctum looks pretty good in this set, but a lot of them are just like, oh, these are pretty good. But there's only 2 here that stood out to me that were like, you know, like when you had an original set, you looked for Bane Switch. You looked for, well, there was plenty of other good shadow cards, but you were like, do we have Bane Switch? Do we have Library Access? Do we have a Rise? Do we have Gateway? These are the cards that you just boom, 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 like. And then we're like, okay, those are S tier, then A tier. So like, so that's kind of that's what this list is about. Okay, so I got 2 cards here that are kind of that A-S tier that just stood out to me. The Gray Rider. Let's see here. It's a 2 power. It's deploy, so you can put it anywhere in the line, which is very nice. It's a common. And play, fight, and reap. You may ready and fight with a neighboring creature. So when you play him, you can ready and fight with a neighboring creature. So that happens when you just play him, like an action, just boom. So and then you can put him anywhere you want in the line. So you're gonna basically be able to ready any minion you have, and then they can fight. If there's nobody to fight, then they're ready. So then you could also reap with them. So what you will do is probably go out there and fight with somebody, exhaust them, or reap with someone, exhaust them, and then have the Grey Rider come in, unexhaust them, and let them fight again. Or if there's no one to fight, reap. So it's kind of like that. And then the next turn, now that he's out there, he can fight or reap. You're going to reap with him, and then it's a really good combo there. He's not super strong with 2 power, but the fact that you can just come in and just basically reactivate anybody, or you could essentially play a card, like play a minion, he comes in exhausted, then you play the Grey Rider next to him, and then you can ready with that person you just played in and have him fight right then. So that's why I like it. I think that's really good. That's really, really nice. In Proclamation 34-6E, where are we at here? The ambassadors are pretty cool. So they're elusive. They die instantly with 1. But when you fight and reap with them, you may play or use a Martian card or whatever if it's a Mars ambassador. So if you're on your Sanctum turn, and from what I've seen, these ambassadors do come. If you have a Mars ambassador, you probably have Mars in your deck. Like from what I've seen, I'm sure that could happen where it's not that, but. So you play in Sanctum, you have your ambassador out, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna reap with him, and then I'm gonna be able to play a Mars card on my turn. So it's kind of nice. They're good. They're good, but they don't really do anything other than you're not gonna fight with them. They got 1. Why would you? They would die. So you're just reaping with them. Here's the thing. You can fight with them if someone has elusive. That's a possible good way to pop elusive on somebody, because they won't take any damage. But that's one way I think about it. But that was not the Proclamation one that we really want to take a look at here, guys. Okay, here we go. Right here. While your opponent does not control creatures from 3 different houses, their keys cost +2. Now, how often will your opponent have all 3 houses represented on the board? Now, when they forge a key, that happens at the beginning of their turn. So they can't, like if you, on your turn, if you were able, they have 3 houses out there. If you, on your turn, you're able to kill somebody on that line so that they only have 2, right? Then their keys go by +2, and if they were in check, now they are not in check. And even if they have a card in their hand, that forge key moment there is no longer available. Now, yes, if they have key charge or a way to forge a key in the middle of their turn, now this would still, their keys would still be +2 until they get 3 houses on the board. But it makes it a little bit trickier, and it does help to prevent them. like at the beginning of their turn. Like if you can keep them from having all 3 houses on the board, because sometimes like your opponent will get a really, really strong house and just play that one house, and then and then when that happens, they very, very likely don't have all 3 houses on the board. So this is really cool. It's out there forever because it's an artifact. Well, it's kind of out there forever. They can't attack it. There's only a few ways they can pop it off the board, and it's just an active ability or passive active because it just doesn't. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be sanctumed for this to go off. It's just keep an eye that you want your opponent to not have 3 houses, and that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. So that's pretty much the 2 that stood out to me the most with Sanctum. Like I said, if you guys see something else that I'm missing, or like I said, we've already, the Ambassador's got some combo-y things, but it takes like 2 turns. And the shards are not bad, but outside of that, some of the cards are good, but like I said, you're searching these decks for like, oh yeah, this is a good card, or ooh, I really want that because that's going to be pain. This like permanently make your opponent's keys cost +2. Gray Rider, just being able to just activate anybody on your line. It's kind of good. Like, it's not bad at all. All right. In our shadows, Life for a Life. Now this one I thought was pretty good. So you get 1 money. Sacrifice a creature, deal 6 to a creature. So you could sacrifice one of your really weak shadow creatures that are like 1 or 2 power, and then you can do 6 damage to someone else, and you get a money for it. Yeah, I'll do that. I think that's fair enough. I'm fine with that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I mean, yeah, you do have to kill one of your own creatures, so it's not an automatic thing, but I think 6 damage will kill most people, and especially with Shadow being able to do a lot of like chip damage, between that and another thing, you should be able to kill, well, you'd be able to kill most creatures on the board outright for sure. And if with a little bit of extra help, you could pretty much take out the biggest thing on the board. So that's pretty good. I like it. Or with some help, you can. I like it. And you get 1 money in the whole thing. So it's pay me to kill somebody and do 6 damage. I like it. It's just pretty good. Swindle. Let's see here. What do we have with that? Well, this one's pretty cool. So it's got Alpha and Omega. So from my understanding, this is the only card you can play on your turn. It is the first card you can play and the last card you can play. However, the play is Steel 3 Amber, so that's pretty good. I think there's some debate on this card because you can't do anything other than this card on your turn. I do not know the rulings. If you were to Wild Wormhole this out, or say that Help Bot, I don't know if you would be able to do that. I don't think so. Now, if it's like play the top card of your deck, maybe you can play it. But then it might be the last card you could play. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting, but that would be some clarification. But if you were able to somehow get this card out in the middle of your turn off a combo that kind of like randomly played this card, that's cool. It goes up higher. And then like, what's the effect? Like, if you do it that way, does that end your turn? But it also blocked out the alpha because you already played other cards. Like, okay, I don't really know about that. But if those come into play, cool, something to think about. However, just straight up, a turn where you steal 3 money from someone is not bad. I don't know if I'd want a lot of these in my deck. However, if I had one of these in my deck, I wouldn't be too upset. Yeah. I wouldn't be too upset. Because this is something that you could archive. This is something that if things are going bad and you don't really have nothing going on, you could just, I'm going to steal 3 this turn. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I don't like that you can not do anything other than just steal 3. But stealing 3 on one turn is not bad. However, if they got 3, yeah, if they got 3 and they're gaining 3 a lot, then it might not do you too much. I don't know. There's something there. I think if you can combo it into something else, overriding those alpha and omegas, then I think we have something here, but I'm not 100% sure. I like the ability to steal 3, but it's interesting. That one, there's a discussion there. Okay, Night Forge. Where are we at here? There's some really good art. There's some really new, really cool art. Whistling darts, deal 1 to each enemy creature, gain 1 money. That was pretty cool. Action, steal 1, but he's like 5. Night Forge. Yes. You get a money. Play. If you have not forged a key this turn, you may forge a key at +4 current cost. So essentially, because you are so if you didn't forge a key at the beginning of your turn, so you can't really do a bunch of keys. So that's something, but that's okay. This still allows you to make a key in the middle of your turn at a cost, yes, but Shadow has a really good way of building a lot of amber on their turn, and then they just kind of are like, pray that they don't steal all my money or throw it away on their turn. No, this allows you to build up and then forge a key. And it is +4 the current cost, but you get 1 money. So essentially by playing it, it's just +3 because you get the 1 on this. So you would basically forge, you're forging a key at 10, but by playing it, you get it. So if it's 9, kind of, it's just 10, but you get the 1. I don't know, it's good. I like it. I do like it a lot. Being able to forge a key in the middle of your turn. It's pretty good. I don't really have much more to say than that. It's pretty good. Okay, Bullet Eye. Oh, is it not going to load? I think I can get it to load. I'll just click on it. Yeah, so this one, we have, it's elusive, and when you reap, destroy a flanked creature. I don't really need to say much more than that. The fact that you reap, you gain a money, and then at the same time, you're destroying a creature on the end of your opponent's line. Now, this is something that you do have to take into consideration. If your opponent does not have any creatures, you will be destroying your own creatures. So you might not reap doing that, but smart player will not do that unless you really wanted to destroy one of your flanked creatures. And in that scenario, go right ahead, because you're reaping as well. So I like that card. It's literally gain 1 money and destroy any creature, and it's elusive, so it's not that easy to pop off the board. Yeah, it's only 2 power, but it's just, I really like that combo. Being able to just pop someone off the board, you can never, it's never a bad thing. Okay, so we are looking for Sack of Coin. Yeah, Sack of Coin. Now, I actually did pull a deck with this in it. I haven't played it yet, but so you gain 1 money. Play, deal 1 damage to a creature for each money in your pool. So if you have a bunch of money in your pool, you're doing a bunch of damage. That's pretty cool. It is a rare, so it's not going to be super easy. But and ultimately here is it's an automatic 1 damage because you're going to get 1 money and you're going to be able to shoot someone for 1. But if you have a couple bucks in there, a couple ambers, a couple coins, you get another 1 on there, and now you're doing, I have 6 amber, 6 damage to a creature. And that's pretty good. It's pretty good. And you don't spend anything. You just keep it. Oh, I gain 1 money, keep it there. Oh, I have that. Boom, smack you. I'll still keep it. Yeah, I like it. It's good. And I think that concludes my new cards for Shadows. Yeah, some good stuff here. I really like some of the new art, though. And there's some other good shadow cards here, but those are the ones that really stood out to me. We got a couple of my favorite house, Untamed. It's just the best. I'm sorry, it just is. Dusk Witch Omega. After you play this, end your turn. It's elusive. Your creatures enter play ready. So, if you can keep her out on the board, now you basically have speed sigil for your own creatures because of this. Now it is Omega, so you can't do anything after playing this card. So, and it's got elusive to help you there. If you're going to want to play some taunts to keep it protected, and it's very easy to pop off the board with any kind of spells, but this is nice. Very, very good. You can keep her on the board. Your creatures come in ready to go. It's better than Speed Sigil because all of your creatures come in ready. So you're going to be able to do some nasty stuff. I love it. I really like this a lot. You can keep her on the board, just like a lot of times with creatures, like the creatures that can do some really cool things. If they stay on the board, you can keep them on there. They can really do some stuff. And she makes it so that your guys can just come in and boom, boom, boom. And it doesn't have to be Untamed either. It can be any of your creatures. She's not Untamed witches. They do not play. Yeah. Let's see here. Fang House. Yeah, this one's actually not even nice. So it's some weird spider, cobra, snake thing, lizard, caterpillar. I don't know. It's scary. It's assaults for 3, hazardous for 3. So before this creature attacks, deals 3 damage to the person. Okay. If I'm gonna attack, I'm gonna do 3 to you. Okay, and then I'm gonna do my other 3. Oh, and then you're gonna attack me. I'm gonna do 3 before you attack me, and then I'm gonna do 3. What? Oh, let's see here. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've made some videos on the game. Oh, don't I just now get in comments? I wasn't even looking at that. Really trying to just nail down these cards. Yeah, I can. I thought I'd made some videos about it, not like in full detail, but we can. This new set's really, really good. I don't want to say it's not as powerful, but I do feel like it is a little bit less powerful. I do not see anything here that are on the same lines as Bait and Switch before the change. Bait and Switch now is at maximum steal 2 money, and Library Access now is once you use it, it's purged, so you can't cycle it and do it multiple times, which is fine. I like both of those. You know, Bait and Switch did take a big hit, but honestly, if you forged the whole forge a key Bait and Switch thing, that's not even. It's great when you do it, but it's just like so unfair for the person that gets that has to play against that. It's too much. It's just too much. I'm sorry. It's just too much. It is. Library Access. Most decks can only get Library Access off one time. So if it's helping prevent these broken decks that can just Library Access like multiple times and just cycle their deck, yeah. I think we're fine with not allowing decks to do that. What else do we have here? There's a lot of... I love it. I love this. Glimmer is actually one too. Alpha, so it's the first card you play. When you play it, return a card from your discard pile to your hand. I mean, it literally just like... This is better than the Witch. Am I not mistaken? Is this... The only reason why there's a little bit of hesitation here, is because it doesn't have the alpha. So you can't do some combo, then get this card out and then play it. You have to have it already in your hand and then play it. So there's that, but return a card from your discard pile to your hand. That's exactly what the Witch does. But the Witch has to be on the board and you have to reap with her. This is literally, if you have it in your hand, if it's the first card you play, so if you have it in your hand at the beginning of your turn, you're golden, you play it, you get a minion, okay, cool, and now you get to pull something out of your graveyard. From this house, that I love it. That's a very, very, very good card. Very good card. Let's see here. Grove Keeper, at the end of your turn, give each neighboring creature a +1. Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's not something I wrote down because, I don't. That's not. Let's see here. Persistent hunting. Okay, so you get to get a money, play, choose a house, exhaust each enemy creature of the chosen house. Do I need to say it? You just live. You're tired. All y'all are tired. I'll take my money too. Yes. I love it. That's great. Slow them down. I think that actually concludes all of them. All those really good ones. Untamed's coming strong in this set, dude. And they have some good reprints too. Key Charge, one of my favorites. Regrowth's really good. Let's see, some other. Save the Pack, not bad. You ping them for a little bit of damage to clear their whole board. Untamed doesn't have a lot of board clear. This is like Save the Pack is legitimately like one of their best ways to do it, and that only for damaged creatures. They don't really do a lot of damage, like Mimicry. This is the best card in the game. This is the best card in the game. I'm very, very happy that they reprinted it. I'm kind of surprised they reprinted it. However, it is uncommon, and it's not very common. I mean, not every deck has it, but it's so good. It is so good. And being able to play an action card from your opponent's discard pile. Now you will not. One thing you will not be able to do is play someone's Library Access out of their discard pile, which I have done before, and that's fun. However, that's okay. There's plenty of other cards that you could do. Let's see, the Seed. I love the Seed. It's great. These two are really cool. Creatures to the right get +2 power. Creatures to the left get Skirmish. That's a pretty cool combo there. And let's see here. Hazardous, Porcupine. I think that the cycle here, that's not on. Oh yeah, it is on my list here. You get one. It's the last card you played on your turn. Play it, return a card from your discard pile to your hand. So that's pretty cool. You end your turn with 1 money, and you get to pull a card from your discard pile to your hand. I like it. Now, because of the draw step, this would come before your draw step, so this would not allow you to draw past 6. So you'd play say you have 4 cards in your hand, you're drawing up to 60 in your turn. You play this card, now you go down to 3, get your money, and then you get to pull a card from your discard pile and put it back in your hand, and now you're at 4, and then you draw back up. So yeah, it's not going to give you an extra card if this was draw the card at like after you draw your hand, then you'd get an extra card. It doesn't do that, but it basically you could play a card and then play that card to get it back. So it's cool. Let's see here. Yeah, I think we're gonna end it with this. There's some stuff here, but that pretty much concludes an hour-long session talking about the new cards for Age of Ascension KeyForge. If you got to the end here, I didn't really go into much of this because I didn't really want to really talk too much about it. I should have, but on the site I have a store, glasscabinethobbies.com, where I have new boxes of this set you can buy for I think $95.52 for the set. Now we also have, you can buy just sealed decks, random decks sealed. You can buy them, or you can buy display boxes, and we have some case breaks where a group of people will buy into a box, and then you get like 2 of them, two decks randomly, and then you'll get them shipped to your house. But those are on the website. You can check it out. I also have a few boxes of the original set if you still want some of the original sets, which are still good. Looking at these cards, looking at the first set, I think they're going to play very good together. So I do not think that the first set is going to be not playable anymore. But yeah, if you are looking for this product, I do sell it on my website. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram. But you know, I just post some stuff. We're big into Heroclix, KeyForge, Star Wars Destiny, comic books and stuff. So I'm gonna really try to make some more content for you. You're gonna probably see a lot of comic book related stuff in the future. Hopefully more KeyForge if you like it. And as always, Heroclix as well. New set coming out next week. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and you get a little bit something out of this. Now you get to see a little bit of what this new set's about, and maybe now you will have a better idea of what cards you're going to be looking for when you start opening your decks. All right, guys. See you guys later.